We are about to embark on a treasure hunt for some of the rarest bottles in the world. This is the first episode of a new series where we will be chasing Coke Hutch bottles across the state of Alabama. What better place to start than at an abandoned mine from the same time period as the bottles that we are after? We won't stop scouting and digging until we uncover the Magnificent Seven. Okay everyone, I wanted to take just a second today to introduce you to our new series. It's going to be entitled Chasing the Magnificent Seven. And for those of you that aren't familiar with the Magnificent Seven, not necessarily the Western movie, we're actually talking about the Magnificent Seven Coke Hutch bottles that are here in Alabama. We're going to be chasing these bottles. We've been very fortunate in our other dumps to find some pretty rare bottles that are worth upwards to $400 and $500. But if we can stumble across an area where there's a dump of these Coke Hutch bottles, they are worth anywhere from $2,000 to $12,000 a piece. So we could almost instantaneously stumble across a small fortune. So you got to think, if the bottle's worth $10,000, it doesn't take but 10 of them to be worth about $100,000. So we're going to go all out, and we're going to go after some expensive bottles. It's going to be fun. Today I'm actually on site. I don't know if y'all can see how high up we are. We're actually on top of a mountain. And you may be wondering why I'm on top of a mountain. Because I've always told y'all that bottles are in low-lying areas. And that's true. Today I'm actually out exploring an area that used to be an iron ore mine. This mine was in operation from the 1880s up till around the 1920s. And if there were miners here, there were bottles. There had to be a bottle dump here someplace. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to go down to the face of this cliff that I'm on right here, and we're going to walk the face of the cliff and try to find the opening of the mine. If we can find that opening, then it shouldn't be too far from where the workers would have took break, or they'd have been coming in and out, where they would have, if they'd had a soda, they'd have cracked it open. On top of that, there's a mining town pretty close by. But while we're at the highest point of the mountain here, I do want to show y'all this. This is pretty cool. That is a fire tower that was built in 1941. It was only in operation for about 20 years before it was put out of commission in the 1960s. Obviously the bottom flight of stairs is gone, and it's not something that you want to climb on because those steps are wood and they are rotted. And the last thing I want to do is fall from that far up. There's a lot of graffiti up there at the top, so somebody was brave enough to go up there and spray paint, but I'm not that guy. When this was put out of commission, they actually put up a nice little commemoration right here on the sandstone. It's in memory of F.M. Ted Joy, 1878 to 1943. And he was a conservationist, which basically, this used to be a park area. It no longer is. But that being said, it's a really neat area full of history. Luckily, the trail in here, I had to walk about a mile in, has been blazed by some kids on some four-wheelers, so that's made it fairly easy. But we're gonna have to beat some bushes to get down off of this rock face right here. But it's a really beautiful view from up here. All right, let's get to looking. We actually have 3 areas already lined up to dig where we have a good chance of finding some of these magnificent Coke Hutches that I was talking about. Today, Clayton was not able to make it out with me. So, as you all know, it's not safe to dig the giant holes that we do by yourself. So I figured I would go out, explore this mining site that I'm talking about, and see if I can find some of these surface bottles. We have a really good shot. I've already seen some surface trash right here where I think the mining camp may have been. So that will be interesting to see what I can dig out right here. I'm gonna make my way down to that face, like I said, here in just a second. But let me show you right here what I've already found on the surface. Right here, already on top, there's your cobalt blue, there's some greens, there's some dark amber. I don't know how old this glass is. It's probably not quite as old as I want it to be. There's a gun shell right there. But I'm definitely in the area where there were people at one point, which is always a good thing. So what I'm going to do is start looking for the older glass and make my way down this sandstone face, see if we can get down in front of it and find that opening to the mine. So I've been following the glass the entire time that I've been walking and just came across this car hood right here, or truck hood. I can't really get an age off of it. It looks like it's going to probably be 60s if I had to guess. I don't know. If y'all have an idea, let me know. It looks like a 60s truck hood, which to me probably means that that's not from the mines. That's probably from somebody either servicing the tower that's out here, or maybe just came out here to joyride. I don't know, because there are some ATV trails. I did stumble across a no trespassing sign a little ways back, so I had to turn around and come back the other direction. It said that it was state property, no trespassing. I'm assuming that that was probably for a different direction coming in to keep people from going to that fire tower. And as soon as I saw it, I turned around and went the other way. So the Coke hutch bottles that we're talking about were manufactured up till about 1905. The newest being made in 1905 in Talladega, Alabama, which is famous for the NASCAR races that everybody knows about, the Talladega 500. The area that we're exploring today, we have a high probability of finding either the Birmingham variant of the bottle or the Bessemer variant. The Birmingham variant of the Coke hutch bottle has two variations, one of which has a different DOC number on the bottom. The DOC variant is the bottle that Clayton picked up last year. He did not find that bottle, but he did purchase it. He paid a fair price for the bottle at about $2,500. He anticipated flipping that bottle to make a little bit of money so he could buy some more bottles for his collection. He listed it on eBay, and to our surprise, the bottle that we thought would do $3,500 to $4,500 ended up doing almost $6,500 for one bottle. Now this bottle had some flea bites, it had some stuff going on with it, and it came out at $6,500. So that kind of started a whirlwind. Some collectors saw that that bottle went for that high, and they started flooding the market with the bottles. Now what I mean by flooding is 3 or 4 popped up. Now when you're talking about a bottle that's worth $6,000 to $10,000, it does not take much to flood the market, because the more you find, the more the value is driven down. So it makes a lot of sense if we were to stumble across a horde of these bottles, say we discover 10 or 15 of them, to time release these bottles if we were to ever sell them. Because if you don't, if a bunch hit the market at once, you will drive the price down and you will hurt yourself. So that's something to think about. If you ever come across a bunch of stuff that's extremely rare, don't list it all at once. Time it, you know, time release it, sell it on different markets and different avenues, and it won't do anything but benefits you if you do that. We don't always sell everything that we find. We only sell usually the stuff that we have duplicates of. But it's incredibly hard to say that if I found a bottle that was worth $10,000 that I wouldn't sell it, because with a 3-year-old at home running around, my biggest fear is, even if it's locked up in a cabinet, she's going to throw her little rubber bouncy ball or something and hit that cabinet. It's going to shake it and knock a $10,000 bottle down. Once it's damaged, that's it. So, you know, there's really no point in having it in a safe or locked up like that. It may gain value. It probably will, in all honesty, because it's not like they're making any more. But I would almost be extremely nervous 24/7. So it's not worth me being anxious over a piece of glass to keep it. I would have to probably sell it. So, you know, now my other bottles that I found that have been rare, that are in the $400 or $500 range, I've kept those. I don't sell those. But when you're talking about $10,000, for some people, that could be a life-changing amount of money. So there again, just my 2 cents worth on it. So I've been walking these sandstone faces now for, I don't know, probably about an hour. And I have not seen an opening. That doesn't mean that it didn't collapse at some point, which is very possible. You know, you may wonder how I know that there's a mine here. I guess I should tell you that part of it. Is I was reading some history on the mountain that we're on, and they said that there were iron ore mines on the south side of the mountain, and that is literally all I have to go off of. So I'm walking a ridge in hopes of finding it, and I was thinking that the iron ore section may be on the sandstone section. Now I may be way off base here, but that's what I was hoping. Now you can see how this kind of drops off and levels down there. I think that's where the mining camp slash town may have been for when that iron ore mine was going. And for those of you that don't know, iron ore is incredibly red colored. So that opening of the mine itself should have some red hue or tint to it, and that should be a dead giveaway. Everything's super slick because of the leaves today, which is fun, but this is the time of year here in Alabama to do this kind of exploring, because if we wait another month or two, there's going to be so many ticks, mosquitoes, and rattlesnakes that is not going to be easy to get out and do this kind of stuff. So this is actually one of the more remote locations that we're going to be doing this at. So I figured I would take advantage of it today while there's still a little bit of chill in the air to knock the bugs out and the snakes out. Looks like there may be a little bit more of a red seam up here. Let's go look at this. No, not quite enough. Not quite enough. Can't help but think that the Native Americans may have sheltered under some of these places as well, which is incredibly interesting. Well, everyone, I looked near and far for the opening for that mine, and I could never find it. All I found was that initial glass and that hood off of a truck that seemed to be way too new for what we're looking for. So you got to know when to call it sometimes. I called it for today, but I do want to go ahead and tell y'all, don't worry, there's going to be an awesome dig video next week. We've got a really cool place pinpointed on a map. We already know there's going to be stuff there. We just don't know the age. So we're going to be digging some stuff next week for sure. So I hope y'all stay tuned for that. In either case, we will see you then.